All right. Hello, Ella. Hello, everyone. I see so many nice familiar faces from the space. I'm very happy that we're doing this for the first time together in an online space to talk about autonomous TEEs, trustless TEEs. It's called in different ways. I'll try not to take too much time. Maybe by way of introduction, I'll also introduce myself. I am an economic anthropologist, actually. And I would like to maybe tell you a bit of the story of how I got to this topic so that we can, get started with everyone else's talks and go through the day today. So we actually were working with a lot of the people at Poetic on a project that was very utopian. It was called Circles UBI, and it wanted to give everyone on Earth a universal basic income. And we made the system. We piloted it for many years in Berlin. It's now live on Gnosis Chain. Actually, we have our fourth anniversary tomorrow. And one of the main questions that we had with the making of Circles is how can we actually anonymize the relationships, the payments, the trust that happens within this network? Because today everything is transparent on chain. And so through this sort of rabbit hole of how to make Circles into a privacy preserving system, we ended up in the realm of TEEs, particularly by connecting with Andrew Miller, who I'm sure many of you know him and have worked with him. And at the time, of course, we thought, okay, TEEs are great, but they have many problems. And so I did a bit of research and a bit of ethnography, let's say, about the state of TEEs and chip production in general. And in order to create a vision that is still, of course, in the process of being created, but we released on EthCC a manifesto that we call the Autonomous TEE Manifesto, which was a beginning trying to tease out what would it mean to make an open, trustless, verifiable, a trusted execution environment. Now, this is, of course, a large question. Like to make a chip, you need at least 200 people, and it is something that in no way can a small startup like Poetic take on by themselves. So we thought, okay, how could we self-organize in a decentralized way with all the different people doing work on TEEs that have a common sort of a goal, have a common mission, so that we can get into that direction. And so we started doing research into this, and we came across the work of Sylvain, who will be presenting shortly. And he's been banging on the drum, I have to say, of what he calls QTs or quantum-based TEEs, which I think is very lovely because it's really trying to push the technical imagination of what is possible today and how can we move beyond what we currently have, SGX, TDX, you name them, and how to do that collectively as a space within the crypto world. And also to connect the different communities, such as the open hardware community, but also the crypto world. So with that, we started talking to people, different universities and research institutes, particularly Simple Crypto, which is an initiative that was born out of researchers in UC Louvain. And they are world experts at open hardware and tamper-resistant hardware. And in the Autonomous TEE Manifesto, we talk about physical and clonable functions, about proofs, which are effectively a way to create a fingerprint, a signature that cannot be tampered with because it actually leverages the randomness of matter in the chip in order for it to be generated. So when we spoke to the Simple Crypto folks, they said, okay, we can actually build a proof signature oracle in a period of about 3 years to set the basis of what would be a fully fledged autonomous TEE. And so we were talking to them and also people at IC3 in the US and other places to try to connect the academic world with the industry, also with capital, with investment, so that we can set up a roadmap that leverages both academia and business as a way to actually get there. So of course, this is in no way a mission that Poetic can do by themselves. The Poetic Technologies actual focus is actually on binary security. So our focus is on reproducible builds, and this is what we work towards. We're making at the moment we call it a Poetic TEE build system that gives you an operating system image for SGX and TDX as a replacement for Grameen. I'm sure many of you here know what Grameen is, so I don't need to explain this to you. But because we see that, at the low level of binaries is something people don't think about, but also at the level of hardware, if you're serious about creating a decentralized world, having the ability to compute over private inputs in such a way where we know that attestations are not being forged, and that there are proofs of manufacturing in the actual hardware, in such a way that it actually decentralizes the knowledge over chip production, which is, I would argue, an existential threat for all of humanity, then I think we can actually do some interesting things. So to summarize, we went from a very utopian project, a universal basic income for all of humanity, to now trying to make open source TE. And so we were successful with making circles a reality for a few people here in Berlin. The project continues now with the guidance of Gnosis. And today we are very excited to come together and start to plant a seed and see where that seed can lead us. So yeah, thank you very much. Today we will have many nice talks by many very great projects to sort of give you a sense of, first and foremost, who is there in the space and what are each person doing, right? I think we can complement each other in terms of the different domains of knowledge that we do, right? To make a fully fledged open source TE from the hardware to the software, we require a plethora of different teams. And so this is what we're trying to put together in the spirit of decentralization. So welcome, everyone. I am Julio, the CEO of Poetic Technologies, and I hope we have a lovely hour and a few minutes left.